Hey team, hope you're doing well. Today's topic, I want to go over a very important question, that is, how can I run faster without getting tired in a race? And I wish there was an easy answer to this, because none of us, no matter if we're well trained or not very trained at all, if we improperly pace ourselves in the race itself, it's very difficult to run faster in the race. So you have to make sure that you're focusing on your strategy prior to the start of your race, your upcoming goal race. Don't go out too fast. Don't try to get too hyped up in the early miles or kilometers of your race. Run your race. Don't run someone else's race. I always talk about the importance of running a negative split in your race. So that means running the second half of your race, whether that's a half marathon or a 10 miler or a 20K race, whatever that is. Focus on running the second half of your race faster than you run the first half, and you're going to gradually you'll have a much better chance of running faster in the later stages of the race when it counts most, because most of your competition is going to go out way too fast. They're going to go into oxygen debt, and they're going to significantly slow down. And I'm as well, I've followed that pattern as well. Earlier in my career, I went out too aggressive in the early stages of my races, and I had to realize that, hey, you're not going to run, and you're not going to win a 5K in the first mile. You're not going to win a marathon in the first 20 miles. Where are you at the finish line? So this question of how can I run faster without getting tired in a race is, watch your energy consumption in the early stages of your race, whether it's a mile on the track or a 5K on the roads or a half marathon or a marathon. You have to make sure that you're being very strategic in your energy consumption in the early stages of the race. Make sure that you're training at or far below your goal race pace in training, and doing that enough throughout the week so that when you go down, when you start to taper down, you start to drop that volume and intensity 10 days out from your goal race, you're going to go in very well rested, okay? And I think probably the most difficult part of any type of training buildup is the taper phase, because you think that because you're doing less mileage or less work, you're getting out of shape. This is very natural for a lot of runners around the world. They start to drop down their volume and intensity, and they start worrying about, like, maybe I'm getting out of shape because I'm doing less. Don't think like that, because you've already put in several months of hard training. Now is the time where you start to reap all the benefits of those track workouts, those road sessions that you've been doing, and you go into your race feeling much more well rested. You have a much higher storage of glycogen, because again, you're carbo loading. If you're doing it the right way, you're eating plenty of pasta, getting plenty of carbohydrates built up leading into the race. And always focus on carbo loading the week of the race that you're going, your main race. Okay, don't focus on what should I be eating the night before the race. Okay, if you're already thinking that, you really haven't done your homework in the right way. You should really be focusing on eating proper foods, plenty of vegetables, plenty of carbohydrates, stocking up on glycogen the week leading into your goal race. Okay, that's another main factor. Your nutrition is absolutely critical in terms of running faster without getting tired in a race. You want to make sure that you are paying attention to your ferritin, your iron levels. Okay, like I always talk about in other videos, we sweat, and when we're sweating and foot strike hemolysis, every time your foot strikes the ground, you're bursting red blood cells on the bottom of your feet. We lose iron through sweat, like I mentioned, and so I would advise taking a 65 milligram tablet of iron with some orange juice at least once or twice per week to make sure that you are not running low on iron. Okay, a lot of runners do not realize that they may or may not be anemic. They might be running extremely low on ferritin, okay, and that plays a huge vital role in oxygen transport and your cellular health. Okay, so if you're running extremely low on that, you could have all the motivation in the world, and you are not going to run at optimal levels, because again, your cells need iron. Your cells need ferritin, which is a component of iron, in order to transport oxygen throughout the body effectively. Okay, glutathione. Glutathione is the body's master antioxidant. Most runners have never even heard of what glutathione is. That's why I always tell runners, make sure you do a Google search. Start researching what glutathione is and what that that antioxidant plays in the body. It is also very similar to iron in the fact that it plays a major role in cellular health and oxygen transport capability throughout the body. The faster we run, the more anaerobic the activity, the more inflammation builds up in the body, the more oxygen is needed. Okay, so if you're running low on ferritin, if you're not paying attention to your nutrition and eating foods high in glutathione like nuts and green vegetables, these types of things can drastically affect your ability to run faster without getting tired in a race. So always focus on the other aspects of your preparation. One, you have to train a higher percentage of your weekly volume at or below your goal race pace. The world's top middle to long distance runners are running around 30 to 40% of their weekly volume at or below their anaerobic threshold. So they're running around 88 to 92% of their max heart rate, about 30 to 40% of their weekly volume each week. So naturally, yes, they make it look very easy for a reason. You can't just rely on your talent, your physiological talent, because if you're running 20 miles a week and someone that's got an enormous amount of work ethic and has a minimal amount of talent that's running 80 to 90 miles a week and structuring their week more strategically than you are, and they're running a higher percentage of their weekly volume at a faster pace, and you're running the majority of your volume very aerobically and extremely easy compared to them, you're going to have a difficult time when you go up against them in a race. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Also, what you're doing the other hours after the track workout, after the road workout is done. Are you getting proper sleep? Or are you stressing over running? Okay, remember, this is just running. Okay, your value as an athlete is not based on how fast you run. Your value as a person is not based on how fast you can run a 5K or a marathon. Okay, a sub 5 hour marathoner to me is just as impressive as somebody who can break a 2 hour and 10-minute marathon, because both athletes are working equally hard. Okay, they just have different physiological capabilities. Okay, the athlete that can run under 2 hours and 10 minutes has an enormous engine. Okay, their ability to clear lactic acid effectively and to be able to run at very, very fast paces, well under 5-minute mile pace, is definitely evident. Okay, but that athlete that's out there trying to break 5 hours, okay, they're doing just as much work and putting in just as much drive, okay, to achieve what they're going after. So your self-worth is what matters most, your overall health. So don't stress over running so much, okay? Just go out, do the very best you can. After the workout's done, whether it went right, whether it went wrong, whether it was a poor workout or a great workout, know the fact that you're getting out there on a consistent basis and you're doing it over and over again. That is going to produce the results, okay? It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to run a personal best every time you run a race. You're not going to have great workouts all the time. You're going to have times where you are going to be challenged. You're going to be very stressed out. But the key is, how long are you dwelling on those bad workouts or those bad races? Are you learning from what you did wrong? Did you go out too fast in the race? Were you running way too aggressive in your 1,000 splits on the track or the repeat 2 miles? Were those 2 miles you were supposed to run, those repeat 2 miles in 15 minutes, but you did the first one in 14:10, and then you had a really difficult time running that second one in 15 minutes, and you ran like 15:45, and then you ran the third one, if you had 3 reps, and you did the third one in like 16:40 or 16:50, what's the reasoning? You went out way too aggressive in that first rep. So make sure you're being strategic and planning your overall build-up in a proper way. Focus on a longer build-up than a shorter build-up. You'll have much more time to get in great shape and get the best results that you're seeking. Hope this is helpful for you, for any of you that are asking this question of how can I run faster without getting tired in a race. Feel free to leave me a comment below, like and share this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, hit that bell icon so when I make new videos you'll be notified of it. And definitely check out the resources below all of my videos or on RunDreamAchieve.com. They're there to help take you to the next level. So I wish you guys and gals all the very best, and I will talk to you all in the next video.